So before you ever picked up a handpiece, before you entered your BDS, before your college even got recognition, somebody had approved of it. And that somebody is not a person, it's a statutory body. And today, we will decode the backbone of Indian dental regulation. And this is not just an exam topic, this is the body that decides who becomes a dentist in India. Hi, I'm Dr. Asha Priyanka, your public health dentist, and today we are decoding the system behind your degree, the Dental Council of India. So, what is DCI or the Dental Council of India? One, it's a statutory body. It's formed under the Dentist Act of 1948. So, we remember the date. The formation date was 12th April 1949. And the headquarters of it is New Delhi. Say this once. 1948 was the act and 1949 is the formation. This sequence is very exam gold. It functions under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is not optional, it is not advisory, it is statutory, which means it is legally empowered. Now let's go through what that means. What are the powers of the DCI? What can it actually do? One, it can withdraw recognition from colleges. It also determines the qualifications that are required for registration, and it issues any regulatory amendments. Let that sink in. Basically, if a college does not meet the proper standards, the DCI can de-recognize it. And for the exam, what I want you to remember is who grants and withdraws dental recognition? The Dental Council of India. Now let's come to the member composition. This is where a lot of students panic. So let's do this very simply. The DCI is a combination of three things. We'll divide it and we'll simplify it. So, one, there is elected members, two, nominated members, and three, ex officio members. Now coming to the first one registered dentist is elected by dentist in a part A of state registers. One member elected from Medical Council of India, and then there are educational representatives like the principals or deans or directives or head of dental departments from various recognized institutions. And this is a very limited representation. There's not like 1, 2 or 3 members, but it should be limited. Then one representative comes from each university which is established by the law in each state. And the next is a state representative, that's one member nominated by each of the 28 state governments. And then there are central government nominees where 6 members are nominated by the central government. And then it also includes one practicing dentist or dental college trainer, at least 2 registered dentists in part B of the state registrar, and 3 nominated at the discretion of the state government. And then there's ex officio member who is automatically a member of the DCI, and that is the Director General of Health Services. Now let's take a small pause. We'll not try and memorize this randomly. Think about a structure. We have 1 that's elected, 2 from the university, the representatives, 3 some state nominees, 4 some central nominees, and 5 the DGHs. Always remember that structure is what beats the memory overload. Now let's see what the functions and responsibilities are of the DCI. This is the heart of the concept. The DCI maintains standards of dental education. Now let's break it into layers. So obviously first there's education, and then registration, regulation, ethics, and advisory. So when it comes to the general establishments of dental institutions, the DCI takes care of dental facilities, the duration of the course, the selection of the students, any clinical programs that will happen, any field programs that will happen, all the syllabus that we learn, and the examination schemes also. All this is taken care of DCI. They also have control over the curriculum. So how long or the duration and what all subjects. So the subject specification, then the BDS and MDS faculty qualifications, and what are the minimum experience requirements. All this is also overseen by the DCI. Then comes your staff pattern. DCI also takes care of what is the minimum staff for the UG courses, and they also take care of the registration and regulation. So when it comes to the registration, who all are the qualified dentists? Also, one of the core concepts of DCI is to eliminate any unqualified practitioners, or what we call quacks or quackery. So this is also an exam favorite. Remember the word quackery, and remember that DCI is the core or body that can eliminate quackery. DCI also carries out an advisory role. So they advise the government on any dental matters that are there, and they also take up an ethics role. They uphold the dental ethics and professional conduct that must be taken across by dentists. Now for a quick revision, the DCI controls what? It controls 1, your education, regulation, registration, ethics and advisory. That is DCI in 5 pillars. Now, why does the DCI even matter? If the DCI didn't exist, anyone could open a dental college. Anyone would call themselves a dentist. There would be no uniform syllabus. There would be no set of like minimum staff required. There would be no regulation around. And that's why the DCI protects our profession. It also protects the public from people like an unqualified doctor, and it protects your degree. Basically, what we need to understand is a person, or in this case, a dentist's skill is personal, but their recognition is very institutional. Now, before I end, answer this in your mind. Can the DCI eliminate quackery? Yes. That's one of its core regulatory roles. Now, here's your challenge. If the Dentist Act was passed in 1948, why was the DCI formed in 1949? I'm sure some of you must have thought of this. Why is there 2 years? I'll reveal the answer at the end of the video, okay? Now, inside my structured resources and mind maps, I break down bodies like the DCI into exam-ready grids. If you don't have it yet, it's available on Amazon, Flipkart, Dentalcart, and our website. And if you want dentistry to be simplified with clarity, please subscribe, save this video, and share it with your study group. Now, coming to the answer to that question, which you could possibly hopefully answer by now. If the Dentist Act was passed in 1948, why was the DCI formed in 1949? Because the law precedes implementation. What does this mean? It means that after the law is made and an act is passed, it takes time to get implemented, right? That's governance. That's what happened. Now, let's see a flashcard from this topic. Under which act was the Dental Council of India established? The Dentist Act 1948. And then let's see an MCQ. The Dental Council of India, or DCI, was established under A. Indian Medical Council Act, B. Dentist Act 1948, Indian Dental Association Act, and D. Health Professionals Act. Answer is B. Dentist Act 1948. And if this explanation made the structure of the whole thing very clear for you, don't just memorize it, try and map it. Because when you understand the system, the MCQs also become a little more predictable. Now, I'll also suggest that you go to the app for more such MCQs and flashcards while the concept is still fresh in your mind. In the next video, we try and decode the Dentist Act 1948, because once you understand the act, the council also becomes effortless. So, I'll see you in the next breakdown.